happy birthday to my big brother, Ramsey Eric, known as Ramsey and Eric. Thank you, Pastor and First Lady, for allowing us to use your home today. There's so much confirmation and alignment and cohesiveness happening today that it's just such a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. I wanted to talk today about something I learned recently, and I'll tell you a little bit about me. I am from the East Coast. I'm from Connecticut, born and raised, and I'm the oldest of 5. And so everybody came to me for everything. And when I moved out here, I met this incredible human being, Eric Ramsey. And I decided that he was going to be my big brother. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because very few people walking this earth embody what we all look to as the principles and the purpose of God. And you know it when you feel it. Just a person with a heart to serve, a person who's always there when you look up, when you need somebody to be there. That's Ramsey.
Yeah.
So I decided he was going to be my big brother about 11 years ago. And every single time I've needed him, he's been there. Every single time. So I learned something in the last few years about people and humanity. And what I learned is that every single human being at any given point in time fits into one of 3 categories. You've either just came out of a storm, you're in a storm, or you're about to be in a storm.
Come on.
And I'm talking to you today as someone who is somewhere between in and just came out.
All right.
And the irony of this invitation to speak is that every single time I've had a storm and I look up, Ramsey's there.
Wow.
And this recent storm really brought me to a really dark place. A place I've never ever been in my entire life. And I just was thinking, how am I going to come out of this? What am I going to do? And so when he called me to invite me to speak, I knew it was him involved in that because he wanted me to share just a little bit about kind of the journey. And I don't have enough time to share all of it, but what I will tell you is a few things. Is that as I went through that storm, and just to give you a little bit of context, we've all had storms. They come every 6, 7 years, some of us sooner. And usually for me, any storm that I've ever encountered never lasted more than a period of 30 days to 6 months. 6 months was the longest. And we're talking about 3 to 4 years of me just wondering, what have I done? What do I need to do? And one thing that I did during that process is I stayed close to God. I had a lot of conversations with God. And there's a recipe. I'm starting to figure out there's a recipe. And part of that recipe is, as many people said here today, perseverance, staying close to God, listening to that voice, never giving up. Every morning I say the 23rd Psalm I'd like to share with you today. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me through the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That prayer says so much. So much. If you just listen to the words of it. And I just want you to know that I say that prayer every day. Among others, I ask him to enlarge my territory. We all know that. First Chronicles 14, Jabez. But I want you to know that I started a business about 3 years ago. And after working I'm going to give myself away, but my baby just turned 25 yesterday, so let's just get that out the way. So almost 20 years working corporate America, Fortune 500, Fortune 50, and about 4 years ago I stepped away from that. And about 3 years ago I decided I'm going to start my own business. And if any of you in this room are entrepreneurs, you know it's a grind. And it was a grind I hadn't experienced before. things have really come to me a lot easier than in recent years. And so after many years of just grinding and just endless grinding and just not seeing what I wanted to see, I found myself with a business opportunity in front of me. And this is a true story, and this is in the last 2 months. And this is after my prayer. This is after staying close to God. This is after tears. This is after just wondering what is next for me. And I called my best friend and I said, I have this game-changing, life-changing business opportunity on the table, and I'm going to meet with them tomorrow, and I need you to pray with me. And so she said this prayer. And it was about an hour-long prayer, but it was just one piece of it that I couldn't forget. And she said, we've been in the desert a long time, Lord, a long time. So please just send the rain. Send the rain, Lord, just send the rain. That was her prayer. And I cried, but I felt it so deeply because I needed rain. I really needed rain. And I went into the meeting and everything went well. About a week later, there was another meeting. In the morning of the meeting, I woke up, and this was the CEO of the company. I woke up, I get to the car, and there was rain on the windshield.
Come on.
This is a true story. It was rain on the windshield. And we all know it never rains in Southern California. It was rain on the windshield. So I immediately just started talking to him, and I said, I'm giving this to you.
Yes.
I surrender the outcome of this to you. And if that door is held open, I'm going to know it's you holding it open, and I'm going to walk through it.
Yes.
And I want you to know I went into that meeting. Steps were ordered. Words were ordered. The meeting went well, and the business opportunity closed. And that's how I can say I'm on my way out of the store. I'm on my way. So I just wanted to share that with you all. If it gives anybody a sense of hope, if you're in the middle of a storm, I don't care how dark it is or how dry it is, stay close, keep the faith, persevere, don't give up, and just keep asking for him to send the rain.
Yes.